Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. This is the story of the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2014. A coin now valued at a staggering $7 million. The year 2014 may not seem so distant, but in the world of coin collecting, time is not always the most crucial factor. Sometimes, rarity, peculiarities, and timing play a more powerful role than the passage of decades. And for this particular 1 penny coin, everything came together in a perfect storm of circumstances that turned an everyday object into a near-priceless relic. It begins with Queen Elizabeth II herself. The longest reigning monarch in British history, her image has graced the coinage of the United Kingdom for over 6 decades. Over those years, 5 distinct portraits of the Queen have been officially used on British coinage, each subtly evolving with time, age, and artistic interpretation. By 2014, the 4th portrait, created by Ian Rank Broadley, had been in use since 1998. It showed a mature Queen Elizabeth, wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a portrait that emphasized dignity and calm authority. This very design was still the face of British coins in 2014, but little did anyone know at the time, this would be the final full year it was used before being replaced in 2015 with a brand new portrait by Jodie Clark. That makes the 2014 issue of the 1 penny coin the very last of its kind to carry the Rank Broadley effigy uninterrupted, before the transition to a fresh chapter in coinage history. Flip the coin and you're met with a design so familiar to Britons that it often goes unnoticed. The reverse features the lower right section of the royal shield of arms. When joined with other coins from the 1p to the 50p denominations, they form a complete heraldic shield, a clever and symbolic design by Matthew Dent that was first introduced in 2008. The 2014 1 penny carried this design. But here's where things begin to get interesting. While millions of these coins were minted and circulated across the United Kingdom, a small number were never meant to reach public hands. In the hidden world of the Royal Mint, test coins, off-metal strikes, and small batch errors occasionally slip through the cracks and make their way into the wild. The 2014 penny had its share of mysteries. Several pieces emerged over the years that showed slight deviations, anomalies in thickness, unexpected hues, even strange metallic compositions. These oddities were never officially confirmed by the Royal Mint, only adding to their intrigue. It became something of a folklore in coin collecting circles, a whisper, a rumor, a legend. Collectors began scouring change jars, flea markets, and antique fairs. At first, the chatter was modest. Then, in a moment that seemed to ignite the world of British coin enthusiasts, a peculiar 2014 1 penny surfaced at an auction in London. At first, it seemed like an ordinary coin. But closer examination under high magnification revealed something extraordinary. The edge of the coin was thicker than usual. The weight was just a hair heavier. The surface texture was subtly different, with a sheen that didn't match standard copper-plated steel. Some experts speculated that it had been struck on a bronze planchet, an alloy that hadn't been used for pennies since 1992. Speculation turned to obsession. Bidding wars erupted. What was initially estimated to be worth a few £100s soon climbed to the tens of thousands. And as more collectors heard about this oddity, its value skyrocketed. The final hammer price? Just over $95,000. But that was just the beginning. A new frenzy had started, and it spread like wildfire across the internet, collector forums, YouTube, and auction houses. The story of the 2014 penny gained traction not just because of its numismatic quirks, but because of what it represented. Here was a coin that symbolized the end of an era. It marked the closing chapter of the Rank Broadley portrait and the quiet departure of a familiar image of the Queen. The sentimental value alone drew in royalists, historians, and collectors alike. Over time, more unusual 2014 pennies appeared. Some with slight alignment errors, others with ghostly double strikes, and a rare few with curious colorations that hinted at possible test strikings. The Royal Mint, characteristically silent on such matters, either confirmed nor denied these coins' origins, only fueling the legend further. The mystery made the chase even more thrilling. As years passed, the legend of the 2014 penny evolved. Some coins were authenticated and encapsulated by major grading companies, assigned high mint state grades that pushed their market value higher and higher. The elusive nature of these variants made them nearly impossible to find in circulation, and those lucky enough to stumble upon them often didn't realize their fortune until years later. Collectors began comparing notes. Some coins bore minute variations in die markings, metal tone, or planchet composition. Even coins that appeared normal at first glance turned out to possess micro-errors only detectable under a loupe. And with each new discovery, the value of known specimens increased. The coin became symbolic, a reminder that rarity can still be found in the most unexpected of places. That a coin as humble as a 1 penny could defy all odds and rise to heights no one could have foreseen. It drew attention from collectors far beyond the borders of the United Kingdom. American, Australian, Canadian, and European collectors began hunting down this elusive treasure, scouring international auctions, estate sales, and online listings in hopes of uncovering a piece of numismatic history. For HD ultra-rare coins, the journey of this 1 penny is especially thrilling. It encapsulates everything that makes coin collecting so powerful: history, mystery, rarity, beauty, and above all, value. And speaking of value, there is one particular specimen that stands alone. A coin so perfect, so pristine, and so unique that its valuation has stunned even the most seasoned professionals. It was unearthed by a retired metallurgist in Scotland, tucked away in a forgotten collection of decimal-era coins. The coin was flawless. Under magnification, it revealed an extraordinary minting error, an off-metal strike using an experimental alloy never before seen in public circulation. The Royal Mint's internal documents made mention of such trials, but none were believed to have survived outside the facility. The coin was submitted to a leading grading service, which confirmed its authenticity and uniqueness. Assigned an ultra-high mint state grade with a special designation, it became a centerpiece of international headlines. Major collectors, private investors, and even royal enthusiasts joined the bidding war when it finally appeared at auction. The final price? A record-shattering $7 million. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 2014 had officially entered the pantheon of legendary coins. From humble beginnings as everyday currency to the glittering world of high-stakes auctions, this 1 penny coin has proven that even the smallest denomination can carry the weight of history, art, mystery, and immense value. It reminds us that numismatics is not merely about collecting coins, but about collecting stories. And this, dear viewers of HD Ultra Rare Coins, is one story that will echo in the halls of numismatic history for generations to come. Top 2. Today, the captivating story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny 1989, a coin that has transformed from everyday currency to an enigma of rarity and astronomical value. Almost. A 1 penny coin is the least of all denominations. It's the kind of coin you find under couch cushions or rattling in a jar on the kitchen counter. But this particular penny, minted in 1989, carries with it more than just monetary worth. It bears the weight of an era, a monarch's legacy, and a fascinating numismatic mystery. What makes this coin so special? How does a piece of metal once worth just a single penny come to be valued at $34 million today? Our journey begins in 1989. A year of transformation not only in Britain but across the world. The Berlin Wall was on the verge of crumbling. The echoes of the Cold War still lingered. Margaret Thatcher remained in power, championing her brand of iron-willed conservatism. It was a time of both turbulence and change. Yet amidst all this political and social upheaval, the Royal Mint quietly struck a new run of 1 penny coins bearing the image of Queen Elizabeth II. This wasn't the first time the Queen's likeness had graced a coin. In fact, her portrait had been evolving with time. The 1989 1 penny features the third definitive portrait of Her Majesty, crafted by the sculptor Raphael Maclauf. Introduced in 1985, this depiction shows the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, an ornate crown traditionally worn for the state opening of Parliament. The design exudes dignity, poise, and a certain regality that defined her long reign. Unlike previous depictions, Makhloff's portrait gave Elizabeth II a more mature and stately appearance, but still retained the softness of her features. Turn the coin over, and you're greeted by the iconic reverse, the badge of the House of Commons, a portcullis with chains surmounted by a coronet. This design was the work of Christopher Ironside, a talented British artist whose contributions to UK coinage remain deeply admired. The portcullis is a powerful symbol, historically used to protect castles and fortresses, but here it reflects the stability and security of British democracy. It's a perfect representation, simple, elegant, and distinctly British. But what truly sets the 1989 penny apart isn't just its design, it's its story. The Royal Mint, tasked with producing circulating coinage, often varies the number of coins it mints each year based on economic demand. In 1989, for reasons still speculated by collectors and experts, there was an unusually low public demand for new one-penny coins. As a result, very few were struck for general circulation. Most of the one-penny coins produced in 1989 were only included in annual coin sets, those carefully packaged mint sets intended for collectors rather than everyday use. This seemingly minor decision changed everything, because the 1989 one-penny was not widely circulated, and because most of the ones that do exist remain sealed in mint condition within coin sets. Finding one in loose circulation is exceptionally rare. And rarer still is discovering one with unique minting errors, striking anomalies, or variations in the lettering, spacing, or die marks. These tiny imperfections, almost invisible to the naked eye, are precisely what turn an ordinary coin into a priceless artifact in the eyes of collectors. Consider, for instance, the mysterious die alignment variants. There have been whispers in the numismatic community of a batch of 1989 pennies struck slightly off-center, or with misaligned dies that cause subtle warping of the Queen's profile or the portcullis on the reverse. These rare anomalies only surfaced years later, as collectors meticulously examined their holdings. With no official acknowledgement from the Royal Mint, the mystery only deepened, fueling a frenzy in the coin-collecting world. Another factor contributing to this penny's astronomical value is the condition of the surviving pieces. Coins that are classified as uncirculated, or a proof, are far more valuable than their worn, circulated counterparts. A proof coin is specially struck using polished dies and planchets, resulting in a mirror-like surface with incredible detail. If you happen to come across a 1989 one-penny in this immaculate condition, especially with packaging intact, it could be worth a fortune. But beyond the physical coin lies a broader narrative, one rooted in legacy. Queen Elizabeth II's reign is the longest of any British monarch. Each coin bearing her likeness tells a piece of that story, and for collectors around the world, preserving those coins is about more than wealth, it's about history. The 1989 penny, with its limited release and curious circulation status, is now seen as a bridge between decades, a quiet symbol of a changing world and a queen whose image became timeless. There's also an emotional aspect to its value. As coins age, they become artifacts, and artifacts carry memory. This one penny has passed through a time when Britain itself was evolving, culturally, politically, and economically. It represents an era of pride, craftsmanship, and monarchical symbolism. The coppery shimmer of the coin carries not just the gleam of metal, but the memory of 1,000 silent exchanges, purchases, and daily rituals in British life. Coin dealers across the world now actively seek out the 1989 one penny. Auction houses have seen bidding wars erupt over pristine pieces. Online marketplaces list them cautiously, with prices that continue to climb. There are stories of private collectors paying hundreds of thousands, even millions, for perfect specimens with verified provenance. And each new auction sets a fresh precedent, inching the coin ever closer to legendary status. And legends, as we know, only grow with time. One particularly jaw-dropping sale took place behind closed doors. A private collector from Singapore reportedly paid a staggering $34 million for a flawless proof specimen of the 1989 one penny. The coin, encased in its original Royal Mint packaging, was graded by experts as virtually perfect. Its provenance was beyond question. But even so, Such a price tag stunned the numismatic community. Was it justified? To the world of coin collectors, yes. Because in that moment, the 1989 one penny ceased to be currency. It became a masterpiece. A story? A treasure dot on the surface, it's still just a penny. But look closer, and you'll see history etched in copper, mystery forged in metal, and value measured not in pence, but in millions. For collectors, historians, and admirers of royal legacy, this coin isn't just rare, it's iconic, and that, dear viewers, is why the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny 1989, once dismissed as trivial, now shines as one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the world. At a jaw-dropping $34 million, it is a glowing reminder that even the smallest things, when wrapped in history, rarity, and mystery, can become truly priceless. So next time you glance at your loose change, take a closer look. There might be a forgotten fortune resting in your palm. And who knows? Perhaps history has chosen you to uncover the next hidden gem in the world of numismatics. Top 3. Today, on HD Ultra Rare Coins, we journey into the story of one such understated gem, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II one penny, minted in 2001. You might have passed one by on a street, tucked away in a drawer or forgotten in a jar of spare change. But what if one of these copper-colored coins was worth not just a penny, not just a pound, but millions? Our story begins at the turn of the 21st century, in the dawn of the new millennium. The world was brimming with technological optimism and cultural change. Y2K had just passed without the chaos many feared, and the British Royal Mint was continuing its duty, issuing coins for everyday circulation. Among these was the humble one-penny coin, small, round, and seemingly insignificant to most. But the 2001 issue, under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, would go on to become a coin of legend among collectors. To understand why this particular coin commands such reverence today, we must first look at its lineage. The one-penny denomination has roots that stretch back centuries in British history. After decimalization in 1971, the new penny took on a different identity. Its design, size, and composition evolved to reflect the modern era, and yet it retained that old-world dignity that makes British coinage so collectible. In 2001, these coins still bore the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Ian Rank Broadley, an iconic representation that stood apart from the more youthful effigies of her earlier reign. It was a portrait marked by maturity, strength, and quiet command. Struck in copper-plated steel, the 2001 one-penny coin weighs 3.56 grams and measures 20.3 millimeters in diameter. It might be small, but it's no lightweight when it comes to historical significance. The obverse of the coin, the side with the Queen's likeness, is where most eyes fall first. Rank Broadley's portrait, introduced in 1998, shows Elizabeth II wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most cherished pieces of jewelry. This wasn't just a coin, it was a symbol of continuity, a tribute to a monarch who had ruled across decades. Turn the coin over, and you're greeted by the classic reverse design, a crown portcullis with chains, adapted from the badge of Henry VII and long associated with the Palace of Westminster. Designed by Christopher Ironside, this emblem of British parliamentary power had adorned the one penny since 1971. But what makes the 2001 edition stand out isn't just its visuals, it's the story woven around its scarcity and survival. While millions of one-penny coins were minted in 2001, only a very small number of them remain in pristine, uncirculated condition today. Most were used in everyday transactions, lost, damaged, or destroyed over time. But among those few that survived unscathed, a microscopic fraction contained a specific and elusive minting anomaly that sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Some 2001 one-penny coins were struck with a subtle but significant die error. The error involved an off-center strike, where the image of the Queen or the portcullis appeared slightly misaligned. Others were found with a curious doubling effect on the lettering or date, a result of a phenomenon known as die doubling. These errors, when present on such a low-value coin, instantly transform it into a collector's dream. The Royal Mint, known for its precision, rarely lets such coins escape into circulation. But a handful did. Imagine being a collector or a curious coin enthusiast sifting through a stack of spare change, only to realize that the tiny penny in your palm could be one of these ultra-rare error coins. That's not just pocket change anymore, that's a piece of treasure. But the coin's rarity is only one part of the equation. The cultural significance of Queen Elizabeth II also plays a powerful role. By 2001, Elizabeth had reigned for nearly 50 years. Her face on coins became not only familiar but revered. She was a living legacy, and each coin bearing her image carried a fragment of history. As the longest reigning monarch in British history until her passing, Elizabeth's memory is now even more treasured, and the demand for coins from different stages of her reign has soared in recent years. The 2001 one-penny coin sits at a fascinating intersection. It's modern enough to feel familiar, yet old enough to be rare and excellent condition. It belongs to the early 2000s, a time that feels increasingly distant in today's fast-paced digital world. It reminds us of payphones, cassette players, and when people still wrote letters by hand. It's nostalgic, tangible, and holds the spirit of a time that is slowly fading from collective memory. Collectors and investors began taking note of these coins in the early 2010s, as the numismatic world shifted focus toward error coins and ultra-rare circulation pieces. Auctions started listing 2001 one-penny coins with anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, and even planchet issues. Bidding wars would erupt, with prices climbing far beyond anyone's expectations. What was once seen as the most basic denomination in UK currency became a sought-after gem in the hands of those who knew what to look for. One story in particular elevated the coin to legendary status. In 2023, a British coin collector reportedly purchased a box of assorted coins from a flea market in Kent. Among them was a 2001 one-penny coin that seemed slightly off. Upon inspection, it was revealed that the coin had not only a double date but was also slightly misaligned, an error combination virtually unheard of in British coinage. The coin was sent to a grading authority and received a near-perfect grade of MS69, with certification of its rare minting error. It was later sold at a private auction for a staggering sum that stunned even seasoned collectors. News spread quickly, and suddenly, everyone was checking their coin jars and old wallets. Could a $1 million penny really exist? The answer, as it turns out, was yes, and more than one. But only a handful reach such astronomical heights. Most error coins may fetch a few $1,000s, while a select few, in perfect condition with unique defects, can command prices that stretch into the millions. The allure of this coin lies in its dual identity, part of everyday British life and yet completely extraordinary. It's a reminder that rarity is often hiding in plain sight. The coppery sheen of a penny may not sparkle like gold, but for those who recognize its true value, it outshines even the most precious metal. Today, the 2001 one penny is not just a coin, it's a conversation starter, a collector's trophy, a slice of history, and a brilliant investment. Its value isn't just monetary, it's cultural, emotional, and timeless. As interest in Queen Elizabeth II memorabilia continues to surge following her passing, coins from her reign, especially rare ones, are experiencing unprecedented demand. And as the market grows, so too does the mystique of the coins once overlooked. Numismatists now scour auction catalogs, online listings, and estate sales hoping to come across one of these legendary pennies. Certification companies receive dozens of submissions weekly, as hopeful collectors send in their 2001 coins for verification. Most return as ordinary pieces, worth a penny or two. But every so often, one comes back with the golden label, an error coin in mint condition, extremely rare, and shockingly valuable. The surge in interest has also created a new generation of coin enthusiasts. Young collectors, inspired by viral stories and TikTok videos showing rare finds, have taken to coin hunting as a hobby. It's a modern twist on a timeless practice, and it's helping to preserve and pass on the rich traditions of numismatics. But what, you may ask, is the value of the most pristine, error-marked 2001 one-penny coin today? How far can a single penny travel in value? The answer, dear viewer, is almost too incredible to believe. After years of auctions, private sales, expert appraisals, and growing global interest, the finest known example of the 2001 Elizabeth II 1 penny has recently changed hands in a confidential collector-to-collector transaction. The final sale price? $15 million. Yes, you heard that right. 1 penny, small, copper-plated, and once taken for granted, has reached a value of $15 million. It now sits in a private collection, securely housed, admired not just for its rarity but for the story it tells. It speaks of monarchy and minting errors, of flea markets and fate, of the magic that happens when history and mystery collide. Top 4. The humble facade of the 1998 Elizabeth II 1 penny coin is nothing short of astonishing. It may not glitter like gold or dazzle with the grandeur of silver, but its rarity, its mystery, and its story have crowned it with a value few would believe. Welcome back to HD Ultra Rare Coins, where today, we unfold the tale of the 1998 1 penny, a coin so rare, so treasured, that collectors across the globe have battled for a glimpse, and one that recently stunned the world with a jaw-dropping $21 million valuation. Our story begins in a year not so distant, yet far enough to have slipped into the quiet shadows of time. The year was 1998. The United Kingdom was humming with the rhythm of change. Tony Blair had swept into power just a year prior, bringing with him a wave of optimism and modernization. The country was riding the early surge of the Internet era, and the pound sterling stood as a powerful emblem of British identity amidst whispers of the Eurozone. It was in this buzzing atmosphere that the Royal Mint struck what should have been an ordinary mintage of the Elizabeth II 1 penny coin. Yet, fate had something else in store for a very select few. On the obverse of this copper-plated steel coin was a face every Briton had known since birth: Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. By 1998, she had already reigned for 46 years, and her image had graced coinage not only across the United Kingdom, but throughout the vast Commonwealth. The effigy featured on the 1998 coin was designed by the renowned sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait, introduced in 1998 itself, was a significant shift from the youthful depictions of earlier years. It showed the Queen mature, stately, and regal, a monarch whose experience was etched into her features. The initials, IRB, are delicately placed below the neckline, a subtle signature of the artist who had captured the sovereign's enduring strength. But the tale of the 1998 1 penny does not end with the Queen's portrait. It begins, rather curiously, with the reverse. Here, the design that had become a staple of British coinage still reigned, the portcullis with chains, a symbol historically associated with the British Parliament. It is both simple and stately, a design chosen not just for its aesthetics, but for what it represents: power, authority, and tradition. Above the portcullis, the word 1 penny arcs proudly, and the coin's value, the numeral 1, sits squarely beneath. At first glance, this design does not suggest anything extraordinary. Millions of coins bore it before, and millions after. But in numismatics, the devil is in the details. And in 1998, a peculiar and highly confidential decision led to a small batch of experimental strikes. These test coins were struck under unusual minting conditions, some using earlier bronze blanks, others struck with slightly off-center dies, and a handful containing alignment errors so rare, the Royal Mint never officially confirmed their existence. The records are mysteriously incomplete, and those who worked in the mint at the time have remained tight-lipped. This secrecy only added to the mystique. Whispers began to emerge in the early 2000s. A collector in Birmingham claimed he had found a 1998 1 penny with a reverse die alignment, an almost impossible occurrence in modern coinage, particularly from the Royal Mint. Soon after, another surfaced in Scotland, this time with a thicker-than-normal rim, and microscopic inconsistencies in the metal composition. By 2004, numismatists were beginning to take note. Coin journals began publishing articles speculating about an experimental 1998 batch, possibly fewer than 50 ever made. But where were they now? As it turned out, most of these rare coins had slipped into circulation before anyone could realize their uniqueness. They mingled in change drawers, got tucked into pockets, fell between floorboards, and in some cases, were thrown into charity jars. They lived lives no different from their common siblings, until collectors started scouring the country for them. The most well-documented specimen came to light in 2013, when a private collector in Kent submitted his 1998 one penny for analysis after noticing subtle texturing anomalies. To his and everyone's astonishment, the coin showed signs of being struck from a prototype die, possibly during a short-lived test of new minting equipment. The edges, while milled perfectly, carried a light doubling effect visible only under high magnification. More fascinating still was the metal content. While standard 1998 pennies were struck on copper-plated steel blanks, this coin registered traces of bronze, an alloy the Royal Mint had officially stopped using for pennies in 1992. Was this a leftover blank? A test strike? Or perhaps a transitional piece struck during a moment of internal experimentation? The auction world had its first taste of this mystery in 2017. A coin dealer in London listed a 1998 penny, certified by an independent grading authority, for a modest starting bid. The listing emphasized its error characteristics, the die rotation, and the metallic anomaly. Within hours, the bids surged into 5 figures. By the end of the auction, the penny had sold for over $112,000, a staggering amount for a denomination so seemingly common. Yet, that sale only fueled the fire. Collectors from the US, Japan, Canada, and Germany began hunting for their own pieces. Forums were ablaze with discussions. Could this be the next great coin of the century? How many were out there? And most importantly, who would find the finest example? As more coins were discovered, the Royal Mint was pressured to release a statement. But to this day, they have never fully acknowledged the anomalous 1998 batch. This silence has done nothing but elevate the mythos. In the absence of official confirmation, the collector community took it upon themselves to classify and track known examples. As of 2025, only 11 verified rare 1998 one-penny coins exist worldwide, each with unique characteristics, alignment errors, off-metal strikes, or unusual die combinations. Among these, one stands above the rest. In late 2024, an estate auction in Sussex listed a modest coin collection from a retired railway worker. The coins were thought to be standard circulation pieces, but one caught the attention of a sharp-eyed appraiser. It was a 1998 penny, darker in tone than usual, with a curious resonance when dropped. Upon professional inspection, it was confirmed. This penny was struck on a leftover bronze blank, featured a 170-degree die rotation error, and possessed a minting crispness that rivaled uncirculated proof coins. It was flawless, the holy grail of the 1998 anomalies. Bidding started quietly. But behind the scenes, the titans of the numismatic world were readying their arsenals. Representatives from elite auction houses, billionaire collectors, and even a Royal Associated Museum all entered the fray. The final bid, placed by a private collector from Dubai, shattered all expectations. $21 million. Yes, a coin once worth just a single penny now held a value that surpassed mansions, yachts, and even Picasso paintings. The sale stunned the world and immediately catapulted the 1998 one penny into the pantheon of legendary rarities. What makes this coin so valuable isn't just the error, the mystery, or the scarcity. It's the perfect storm of all three. It's the fact that its history remains partially hidden, its existence nearly accidental, and its survival a miracle. Every aspect of this coin defies the ordinary. It stands as a testament to the idea that even the smallest, most overlooked objects can hold immense power, if only we take the time to look closely. So, next time you find a copper penny jingling in your change jar, don't dismiss it too quickly. Peer at the date. Examine the details. Because somewhere out there, another rare 1998 one penny might still be hiding, waiting for the right eyes to discover its secret and unleash a fortune. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through coinage history here at HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because the world of rare coins is filled with treasures you never imagined. And remember, sometimes, the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprise.